You just fall in love with Mosheva when you arrive there.
It's become part of our life.
The culture of this camp is very unique.
The friends were the best part.
Wouldn't trade any of it for the world.
It's just a happy place to be. Just a happy place to be.
I first started coming to Camp Mosheva in the 1960s.
1969.
1991.
59 years ago, 55.
I was here in 1967, 8.
1972 or 3.
1949.
Back then, it was a little bit different.
When I was here, the boys were on this side, and the lake you could swim across to the girls. We can't swim across the lake. Okay?
That's not the stuff you're supposed to.
The bugs have stayed the same.
Yeah, same bugs. I recognize that one.
I barely knew where Chicago was, let alone Wisconsin. And I certainly had no idea I was going to meet my wife.
My mother, I grew up with stories of her meeting my father in Bnei Akiva in Mosheva. All of her siblings met their spouses in Mosheva.
My brother and sister-in-law actually met at Mosheva, and my son and daughter-in-law met at Mosheva. So it's a good place to meet people.
My favorite memory is doing Mifkad on Fridays, Erev Shabbos, with everybody dressed in blue and white and singing Hatikva.
I can still remember my machanachas and the fun walking and planning for it.
I remember my dad used to tell us that he put in the first tile floor in the bayit, and I had a whole sense of pride. Like, this is what my dad did one of his summers that he was here, and this is really special. It's still here all these years later.
And now the amazing thing is my kids, I was a counselor, and now my kids have actually moved to leadership positions after being counselors.
To see your kid who is just having the same great experiences that you had here, it's just a great coming together of generations.
It's so cool, knowing that they ate here and I'm eating here.
I'm doing something that my mother did and that my grandmother did, and it just feels like a whole special experience. You can go into the Chadar Ochel, and my dad's shallot from his avodah in 1986 is still up there, and it's just so cool to look back at that.
I think it's really cool, and I want to write my name right next to theirs.
The camp first developed in 1939. It was a different idea because this was probably one of the first Orthodox camps in the United States.
Rolling Prairie was very, I think primitive would be the operative word.
We didn't have a pool. We didn't have air conditioning. The first year I was there, we only had milchik. They didn't have a fleischer kitchen.
There were no cabins. We slept in tents. Whenever it rained or if there was a stiff wind blowing, the tent would usually collapse on us.
The ball field there was a level piece of land that probably was farmland originally.
We had cold showers. There was no hot water to speak of, and of course, Friday afternoon, everybody was in and out of that shower very quickly.
We didn't know better. We thought that was the way things were supposed to be, and we enjoyed it.
We learned, we worked, we played, a little bit of everything.
The philosophy of the camp was to develop our love for learning and our love for Eretz Yisrael, and as a result, Mosheva developed their leadership skills.
Then and now, it's a different place, but the philosophy and the goals of Mosheva are the same. It's those dreams of religious Zionism and the love for Medinat Yisrael, for Eretz Yisrael, for Torat Yisrael.
Camp taught what it was like to be a Jew year-round. It's something that's every part of your day and every part of your life is Medinat Yisrael, Ahavat Yisrael, and obviously Torat Yisrael.
We lived for camp. We were counting down the days till we could get to Camp Mosheva and spend our summers in Wild Rose, Wisconsin.
It strengthened my Jewish identity, my ideals, my love for Israel. It's made me who I am.
Mosheva was always around my family. We're a very Zionistic family, and sharing that in Mosheva, being able to share the same memories and the same ideals as my grandfather and my mother, I think is very special.
The multi-generational loyalty to the camp makes me very proud. Laura took to it like a fish to water, and the same thing happened with my grandchildren. My granddaughter loved it.
The whole experience to me was just incredible. Shabbos was always my favorite. Kabbalat Shabbat and the singing and the ruach and slow shira, and those things to me were just something that always stayed with me. My daughter, this is her 9th summer. She only missed last summer, and now she's a Majafaf for Avodah. It was amazing that she loved it.
When I was old enough to come to camp, it was a lot of fun. You got to share experiences and memories with your friends, and it was an amazing time. But now, being on the other side, being able to be the role model to those kids and them looking up to you, it's just a very special feeling.
After 6th grade, when I came to Moshva in 1971, I was in a cabin and had 2 sides with steps going up, and we were on the first side. Fast forward to Ilana coming here after 6th grade. So she takes us back to her cabin, and we go in. She goes, "That's my bed." I go, "That was my bed. Same thrift, same side, same bed." And this was like probably 40 years later.
I was in the same exact bed. I was in the same position that she was. It was like cool.
It's a good feeling to see the generations continue or carry on. I'd be very happy if every generation down the line would accomplish more than my generation than I did.
When you have generations of families doing the same thing or being in the same place or having the same feelings and the same connections, I think it does make things stronger. I love it. It's like I never left.
The idea that the values of Mosheva have continued through 3 generations is not just that it sustains the organizations, but it actually sustains the families. The fact that my children are 3rd generation campers helps define who they are and also provides for them a sense of continuity, a sense of Masorah, and a sense of future as well.
Really important for our kids to really understand, why we have come to this camp and why we will continue to come to this camp.
It's just exciting to have that long chain of history with Moshevan, to see that continue. It warms the heart.
It's not just camp, it's educational, while fun. It really is a special place. I think it's very important that it continues to thrive.
It definitely impacts your life. The campers, the counselors who cried when the kids left camp, a lot of good memories. A lot of memories.